Yo, so over the weekend, I was watching YouTube and I stumbled upon this video, this Peter McKinnon video where he talked about this Leica app for the phone. I actually watched it on Friday, so I had the whole weekend to test it and I thought it was great. So let's talk about it. So the app, it's called Leica LUX, which is essentially named after their Lux line, which is essentially Leica's version of the X100 line from Fuji or the Ricoh GR3s or Sony's RX1s. And let me tell you, it's absolutely freaking incredible. I swear to you, I'm not capping when I say that these might be the best photos that I've ever taken with my phone. And not only because I think the photos are actually good, it's because I think the experience of taking them was very similar or parallel to a certain extent to actually shooting with the camera. So let's talk about the app real quick. The app, again, Leica LUX, you can download it for free on the App Store. It requires a subscription. That's $6.99 a month, but we'll talk about that later. The first thing you should know is that the app has two modes. One of them being photo mode, which is essentially a regular version of the camera where you can control everything manually. That's something you can't do on the phone app, the one that comes with the phone, right? So you could change ISO, you could change shutter speed, you can change focus, even you can change white balance, right? And you can manually change between all three lenses. I think that already in itself, it's absolutely freaking dope, right? So another cool thing that this app has, it's that, as you know, Leica has become very famous throughout the years because of their images and their lenses and their cameras, obviously. But one thing that's very specific to their images, it's their looks, right? Which is essentially a LUT, right? Or similar to the way Fuji does with like their Fuji chromes and the way they do essentially film simulations. Leica has always been famous because of that, and you can use them. And there you have all the different looks, right? You can start them, you can modify them, and they have color, monochrome, and then they have an artist series where they have, which is the one that I consider my favorite one, a Gregg Williams filter. If you don't know Gregg Williams, he's a celebrity photographer. He's absolutely crazy with it. The other mode on the app, it's called Aperture. So essentially Aperture, it's Leica's own version of portrait mode, but in my opinion, dude, they exceeded anything Apple could have ever made, at least with their stock app. For reference, I'm doing everything on an iPhone 14 Pro. The cool thing about Aperture Mode or Portrait Mode, it's that aside from having the film looks, essentially kind of like some sort of like lens simulation. So you can choose all the way from 28 to 90. The camera can render what it would look like through a famous Leica lens. So essentially you have their Summilux series, you have the Noctilux series. They even have a Leica IA model from 1925, which I think it's their first camera that you can render only in black and white. And they have a Tambar 90 f2.2. So it's dope because not only can you essentially shoot on portrait mode, you can actually render what it would look like through one of their lenses. And let me tell you, it's pretty good. My favorite so far is the 50 Noctilux and the 35 Summilux 1.4. Why do you say we kind of go through the images? Let's go take a look at those images, okay? So obviously, for the sake of the video, I shot in different light environments, but let's take a look at what I got. So this is literally the very first image I actually shot. I shot this one on photo mode because I wanted to see how it would render the image with the actual camera calculation happening in the camera, not with the software. If you know, portrait mode, it's not done physically with the actual lenses that are on the phone, it's made digitally. So it's essentially a calculation, and that's why if you zoom in, at times you'll find artifacts or imperfections. So this one I shot with photo mode, which is the regular mode, and dude, it looks crazy. It looks beautiful. I absolutely love the grain. If we zoom in, we can kind of see the grain a little bit. This looks beautiful. I love the way it renders the grain, and again, the beauty of it is that you could see it on real time. I'm a little too close. If you could see the focus, it's actually here, not here. This is the second image I shot, and I think it's one of my favorite ones. I shot this around 8 p.m. It wasn't fully dark yet, but it rendered the image beautifully. I don't really understand what's the science happening behind the app, like what's happening under the hood, but I can tell you it does a way better job at rendering portrait mode than the Apple stock app. I don't really understand why. You could almost see kind of like a swirl going this way, which is really nice. Again, this is probably part also of the lens simulation that's happening, and that's probably why it looks better than the actual iPhone stock app. Testing in a different light environment. This is way later at night. I shot it with the flash because obviously shooting with flash on film, it's like a very specific look, specific to Gregg Williams. This was shot with the Gregg Williams filter, and this was great. In this case, you can kind of start seeing a little bit of that edging, some of those artifacts that I was talking about on her hair right here. You can see it here. This is obviously also a strand of her hair that was caught in whatever the iPhone considered was the background. But other than that, the actual rendering of the image and the rendering of the grain, which is something that really surprised me, it's very contrasty, very thick, almost kind of like an HP-fied look, and I love it. Again, for having it on your phone, I think this is absolute money. Really pushed it here, wanted to go for something really dark. Also think it did a great job. You could see it on the face, the texture, it's super soft. So obviously the phone's having to compensate for the lack of light, and it's I guess generating light where there's none. Same thing here, you can kind of see a little bit of the cutoff here. It's almost like a cutout. Yeah, it looks like a cutout a little bit, but again, for being caught on the phone, I think it's great. Not the best case, but I think it looks great. This one right here, I think this is my best photo with the phone. Mind you, I've only used it for 2 days, and I wanted to use it on an actual real life scenario where I would just have to pull out my phone and try to shoot a photo. But I think this is the best version of that. The filter I'm using, it's the Leica Chrome. Beautiful, love the tones. I upped the grain a little bit to 51%, and I think the grain, it's beautiful. It looks great. It almost looks like Portra 800 or 400 yeah, I think more 400 than 800, but I think the rendering's beautiful. The fall off from sharp to blurry, it's absolutely beautiful. Her skin looks great, the tones are great. Maybe here's the only one where you could see a little bit of the ghosting right here, but other than that, absolutely beautiful. Money in the bank. Cash in, let's go. Another one that's absolute money. Cash in, beautiful. Focus right here, the fall off, it's great. I think I shot this with 1.4, one of the cases where it actually worked. Love it. Shot it with the Gregg Williams filter, also 1.4. The image, it's perfect. You could see a little bit of the ghosting here, and you could see the artifact here where essentially the phone's trying to figure out what's the foreground and what's the background. If we were to delete this would be an absolute killer, and it could really pass as a really expensive camera. So maybe if we do a crop like that could work. But look at that grain. That grain looks beautiful. This is money right here. Money. Like, I could have shot this with like an X100. This looks so good. Also another one that it rendered beautifully. Maybe just a little bit of the hair right here. You could see it here, and you could see it here. It's trying to calculate where essentially his hair ends. But beautiful, love it. I love the part that's in focus, it's beautiful, and I love the rendering of the grain also, beautiful. Also, you can see a little bit of the swirling happening. I shot this with the 50 Lux. And this one's the last one that I shot. I actually just shot it because I wanted to see, obviously portrait mode requires a little bit of distance, and I wanted to see how good I could get it with it being a selfie. I didn't actually shoot it with the front camera, I shot it with the back camera, but I think it did an excellent job at it. This might be one of the best ones too. You could see a little bit of the ghosting happening here, but this is literally the one part, and I'm being picky about it. Like, if you see it actual size, or if you see like on an Instagram grid, dude, this is perfect. And I absolutely love the texture. The texture looks beautiful. Again, with the Gregg Williams filter, my favorite filter from the entire app. You can see a little bit of ghosting right here, but other than that, money in the bank. So now on to pricing. Like I said, the app is $6.99 a month, which is on the more expensive side of things. It's a little pricey, if you ask me. I find it a little pricey. But I'm not even gonna cap with you guys. I think this is the best camera app that I used on the phone. And not only is it good, the capabilities are incredible, and it's only gonna continue growing. Hopefully, Leica continues growing the app, because the app experience itself, it's clean, man. It's clean. So who is this app for? Honestly, I think this is an app for the photography enthusiast. That's definitely one. And second, it's for someone like me. Like, a lot of times I find myself in my personal life, or like if I'm at a party or something, where I don't necessarily want to carry around a camera, but I stumble upon a situation where I find myself taking photos with my phone, but I do want them to have a little bit more edge, or a little bit more quality, or maybe have them be a little bit more, elevated in some way, shape, or form. And I feel like this app not only makes it look better, but it also allows you to have almost a one-to-one experience of what it is like to shoot a camera in manual mode. It feels like, I've always said this, and I said this in a bunch of different places. This is the first time I'm saying it here on the YouTube channel. You don't take a photo, you make a photo. This app makes you feel like you can create a photo. So you can make it. It's yours. It has your DNA. So I don't know, guys. Give it a shot. The beauty of it, it's that the app has a 7-day free trial that you could use it, and then literally the day of the cutoff, you can just uninstall it, unsubscribe, and you don't have to pay a single dime for that. So give it a shot, guys. Give it a shot. Download it. Let me know what you think. Send me some photos. I would love to see your photos. So if you do download the app, send me some photos, and we'll make a video about it, and we'll take a look at them. Sub up, like up. Let me know what you think. I love you guys. See you soon, gang.